Hi everybody, it's Gene. It's time for George Harrison albums. That's right. Here's my famous floor, or infamous floor. And I'm listening to a tape I made, a cassette tape of my own. And one of my favorite George Harrison songs, Let It Down. Hope they don't block this video, because that song's blocked in this country. So I'm just starting with that song there. Start out here with Wonderwall music. This is an import. I never could find the American album. And Wonderwall music. That's an import. And then I have Electronic Sound. I don't know if this is real or not, but it is supposed to be the American version. I think it is real. On Zapple Records. At the beginning of 1980, my friend Ron was at my house, and we decided to be crazy, and we took one of my stereo speakers and put it in the window and played this album. And it's a wonder if there was anybody outside the house. It's a wonder somebody didn't call the police on us, if you ever heard this album. So that's how we rang in 1980, me and my friend Ron. We blasted that in the neighborhood, out the window. And here's the album I'm talking about. Got kind of wet up here sometime, I don't know when. One of my favorite George albums. It's a shame that this album is blocked in the United States, and it was up for a while, and I know it's blocked here in the USA now, but always loved this album. Whoop. And there's what I love too is the Orange Apple. So, and then here's the second one. All Things Must Pass. Very good album. And have the Apple Jam, which is kind of strange, but all right. And of course, the next one, the Concert from Bangladesh. I can't fit this album into a plastic sleeve. I've tried and tried, and I'd just leave it like it is. I can't, there's the book that came with it. But for some reason, I guess because of the size, it will not fit into a plastic sleeve. There's the record labels. Alright. And then I have Living in the Material World. I was talking about my friend Ron before, and interesting thing with this album, we both bought it at the same time, me and him, which was kind of cool. And then we compared notes. We both listened to it and then compared notes on it. And there's a little book or a little booklet. I like the record label there. And that on the other side. So we both bought this album the same day, and then we compared notes. Ooh, it's stuck together. Ah! That's how long it's been since I opened it. times. I like at the bottom where he has the Jim Keltner fan club. You know, I think it was Red Rose Speedway, Paul McCartney, you know, he had something about Wings fan club or something, and George even put the little wings down here next to Jim Keltner. I thought that was kind of funny. And Dark Horse, not one of my favorite albums, but it's pretty good. What? And there's the insert to come with it. And the lyrics. Here's my little sticker that came on the plastic. There's the record cover for the insert for the album. And label with George and Olivia. I was talking about that before on Paul's Wildlife. Actually, Paul was the first one that did that, because Wildlife came out, and then John the next year did Sometime in New York City. So I think maybe John got the idea from Paul. And then 74, George did the same thing with him and Olivia. Here is Extra Texture. This is a really good album. This one had to grow on me. I didn't really care much for it at first, but I really liked it after a while. And probably my favorite George Harrison song is This Guitar. That and Let It Down are my two favorites. Got the cutout there. And Oh, Not Him Again. Record here, and there's the label. I like the Apple core there. This, of course, was the last album released on Apple. Then in 76, this is the American version of George's Greatest Hits, the Best of George, which is not really the best of George. I could never understand this album because half of it is the Beatles stuff. George did enough solo music, good solo music, by the time this album came out, that the whole album should have been his solo work. Not half of it is the Beatles and half of it is, you know, there's only what, 1, 2, 3, 6, there's only 6 of his solo songs on this album, which is, I'm not, you know, I don't know, it's crazy. There's my little sticker. I much prefer the album design of the import. I don't know why they didn't use the same record cover here that they did everywhere else. So it's the same as the other one that was released other places, just the album cover was different. Here is the first George Harrison album I bought. I bought it when it was about a year or two old, but this is the first one I ever bought by George. Excellent album. I love it. And some memories always stay with you, and for some reason I always remember that I rode my bike to Kmart and bought this album. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. And I like the Holy Friar there. Always loved George's sense of humor. There's the excellent album. Like I said, this is the first solo album I bought by George, and I bought it rode my bike to Kmart. so I could buy it. I'm riding home with a bag with this album in it. And this is the first album I bought of George's that was brand new. I bought this right after it was released. And I remember I bought it at Musicland at Bashford Manor. And my dad had left me, you know, looking around in the mall, and then he was going to pick me up at a restaurant that was out in the parking lot of the mall. And I always remember buying this album at Musicland and then going out waiting for my dad to pick me up. And I remember sitting there, I didn't open the album, I was just sitting there looking at it, and it's like, oh, I can't wait to get home so I can listen to this. I always remember that. So, and I wasn't disappointed. It's an excellent album. But this is the first George Harrison album that I bought that was just released, brand new, you know, just came out. And then I bought this at Woolco when it came out, somewhere in England. And I remember Woolco closed not too long after this. They went out of business or whatever, they closed. But this is, I think, probably the last album I bought at Woolco before they closed. And my stickers kind of wore out from this plastic. And then I have Gone Troppo, one of my other George Harrison favorites. I talked before about John Timmons of Air Ecstasy, and he was the manager at a record store called Phoenix Records, and I didn't even know George had a new album out. I went in there one day and John said, oh, George has a new album, and it's like, what? I didn't know he was going to have a new album. It was only 1 year after the last one, so. But very underrated album, wasn't promoted much, but I love just about every song on this album. I love this album. And here's my receipt. November 4th, 1982. $6.95. And like I said, I bought this at Phoenix Records. And that's when I first met John Timmons. He was the manager there, and before he went on to open his own record store. There's Cloud 9, another one of my absolute favorite albums. Got my little sticker there. Contains the hit single Got My Mind Set on You. And that's a wonderful, wonderful album. And that was 1987, late 1987. And then I have the Traveling Wilburys. I only have the first one on album. Bought this through a record club. I don't know which one it was. I used to belong to one of those record clubs. Now they're CD clubs, I guess, like BMG or whatever it was. That's where I got this. You could get albums from them back then. That's where I got this album. So, Traveling Wilburys. It looks like I got some cat hair on there. I wouldn't doubt it, as many cats as I've had since I bought that album. Well, I didn't have a lot, but probably when I got this album I had 3 cats at that time, so if I remember right. And whoops, last but not least, the best of George Harrison. I think I got this from that one too. No, I think I got this somewhere else. I'm not sure. BMG. But I don't think I did. I don't remember. Alright, there's my little sticker. Is it? There it is. Includes 3 new songs. Okay, there's my George Harrison LPs. Hope you enjoyed having a look. Oops. Oop, I'm really messing up here. Alright, get all the plastic out of here. So thanks for taking a look, and I will be doing the George 45s sometime soon. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Thanks. Bye.